Hey guys, what is going on? Chris here with Shughead Gaming, bringing you my review for Catch and Release, developed by Metric Minds and released on the PlayStation VR August 28th for an estimated retail price of $23. Of course, that's depending on your region. Just you on a lake. Step into your rowboat, grab the paddles, and dive into a meditative, relaxing VR fishing experience like no other. Choose the right bait, pick a good fishing spot, and cast your rod to get the biggest fish on the hook. PSVR already has a few fishing games, but Catch and Release looks to be something special. Stick around and let's find out. As always, guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more PSVR content from me, please consider subscribing, and for updates, hit that bell icon. As always, graphics are up first. Unlike the other fishing games that have come out for PSVR, Catch and Release looks to go for the look of realism. There are no menu screens or startup intro to be found here. Instead, you open your eyes and find yourself sitting on a rowboat in your own little piece of paradise. Graphics here are a combination of realistic with just a touch of an animated look. The results are amazing and come off as surreal yet authentic and instantly relaxing. Your rowboat, fishing rod, and everything else in your vicinity animate well and look super sharp. This you might expect, but the real star here is beyond the boat. Welcome to Whispering Waters, your own personal fishing spot and a place you may never want to leave. Surrounded by mountain peaks, dense forest, cliff faces, and reed-covered shores, everything as far as you can see is beautifully rendered, lovingly textured, and extremely sharp. There are very few jagged edges, blurriness, or loss of detail as you look across the lake, which is all the more astonishing considering this is without any mention of Pro support. Another highlight on display here is the amazing water effects. The lake glistens from the sun, reflects the scenery beyond, and ripples as splashes are made on its surface. This is really remarkable stuff on display, made all the more fantastic when in shallower waters you can see your prey swimming below the surface. However, it is the small touches that really elevate Catch and Release to something special. Birds fly overhead, mosquitoes hover in groups over the water, and pollen flies through the air. These, like so many other small touches, really immerse you in this special VR experience. Fishing games have been around for decades, but it wasn't until VR that they have found the perfect home. Many games before, and even those currently on PSVR, all capture the sport of fishing with varying degrees of success, but what none have been able to capture is what may be the most sought after aspect of what real fishing is all about, and that is the sense of being on the water, getting away from it all and being immersed in nature. Catch and Release, above all else, absolutely nails that. And that brings us to sound. Like the graphics before, Catch and Release wisely goes for a realistic approach. You won't find loud, obnoxious announcers, a blaring soundtrack, or cheesy arcade sound effects trying to make fishing more exciting than it is. Instead, you are left with nature. Stand still and you can hear the water lap up against the boat, the distant sound of a rushing waterfall, and crickets in the hot sun. Feel like a little relaxing music? Grab your FM radio on board your boat and choose from a handful of various relaxing radio stations. With over 30 original songs, there's something for everyone looking for some background tunes to wash over the fishing experience. Special note to the spatial audio used with the radio, as it changes audio position in the mix depending on where you place it in the boat. The rest of the sounds here are always based in reality and never jump out of the mix. It's all about nuance here, with mission updates identifying themselves with a light chime, and all the various reel, tackle, and fishing sounds coming off as authentic and balanced. All in all, a fantastic sound mix, all wrapped in a wonderful use of 3D audio to really deliver a memorable and relaxing experience. Gameplay is up next. Catch and Release is a pretty simple game, but it is its simplicity that makes it so great. You start in your rowboat, just you and your starter fishing rod. Pick up your mission manual, and it is here that your loosely recommended journey begins. In the first few pages, you'll be given tasks like row here, catch a fish, row over here, and catch 3 fish. It is through these guided steps that the game not only teaches you the ropes, but also gives those wanting a little more structure something to guide them. Flip through the rest of the book and you will find info on all the fish, what bait to use, and even some news articles hinting at some huge fish lurking in the waters below. The other piece of literature at your disposal is fishing and tackle. It is here that you will unlock and purchase new and improved rods, lures, bait, and additional convenience items like food, beer, and a fishing hat. And more useful items like a fishing scale or a new radio if you accidentally throw yours overboard. Yeah, don't do that. And that is the simple premise of Catch and Release. Fish, learn the lake, cash in your catches, and buy new gear to go after bigger and tougher prey. The act of the actual fishing is thankfully, like the rest of the game, kept to a sense of realism. You won't find power meters, button prompts, or any such video game tropes. In fact, the HUD is blissfully free of all clutter and instead chooses to communicate what's happening through natural visual cues, sound, and a wonderful use of haptic feedback in the controller. Whether the rod is in your hand or resting in its holder, if you get a bite, you'll be met with a light rumble and a tug on your line. Reeling in fish is done with your free hand, which works and tracks beautifully. Line tension from the fighting fish is communicated to you through the creak of the rod and the vibration in the controller. Fishermen beware though, as too much tension on a cheaper rod and your fish is gone. The art here is in releasing line, leading your fish and slowly reeling in, tiring out your fish and bringing it into the boat. The bigger the fish, the more money you can get. Catch a small fish, then throw it back, and cash in more than you would if you kept it, hence the game's title. As is the case with the rest of the game, it's all about the small things, whether it be mastering the perfect cast, becoming a master rower, catching garbage on your line, or simply trolling your line while rowing around. Not unlike something like Job Simulator, if you can think it up, you can probably do it here in Paradise. Catch and Release requires 2 move controllers, and motion sickness should be at an absolute minimum. A moderate amount of space is required as you will be turning around your boat and casting off your line. And that brings us to fun factor and my final review. For almost 2 years now, I have seen the same question time and time again. What is a good VR game to just relax and chill out in? The options up to now have often been cheaply made scenery-based games that not only look crappy but consist of zero gameplay. Enter Catch and Release, an absolutely fantastic and deep fishing game that also happens to be one of the most serene and relaxing games I've ever played. I rate games on a scale of buy, wait for a sale, or burn it to the ground. Coming out in the same week as the massive Firewall 0 Hour, I can't think of a better way to unwind after killing a few hundred people. This is actually an absolute must-buy for fishing fans and non. This may actually be one of the best examples of VR immersion on the PSVR, and it should not be missed. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and if you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more PSVR content from me, please consider subscribing. And for updates, hit that bell icon. I will catch you guys on my next video.